Today on TimesCast,
The United States strongly condemns the illegal disclosure of classified information.
Executive Editor Bill Keller discusses the reaction to the leaked diplomatic cables, a look at disturbing conditions in Mexico for the physically and mentally disabled, and encouraging physical fitness, even for infants.
Big stretch.
What do you think these disclosures will do to the conduct of U.S. diplomacy?
My guess is in the short run, people will be tiptoeing around and picking their words more carefully. I think in the long run, it probably won't have any lasting effect. I mean, foreign leaders and diplomats deal with our people out of self-interest. They have trade relationships, they depend on us for aid, they want us to be with them if they have problems with common enemies. So, I mean, the business of diplomacy is about self-interest, not so much about embarrassment. There was an interesting line in a Wall Street Journal op-ed this morning by Fouad Ajami from Johns Hopkins University, where he says, "Foreign leaders will continue to talk to us. It's the way of power to brag," which I thought was kind of a nice line.
What about the Times' relationship with the White House and the State Department?
Well, I won't pretend that Secretary Clinton or President Obama is particularly happy about what we're doing. They clearly do not approve of the use of classified information at all, but I think they would also acknowledge that we've been quite responsible in how we've handled the material. We've consulted with them in making our decisions about what to redact from the documents that might put lives at risk. My hope would be that they understand that this is our job.
So what has the public reaction been to the WikiLeaks disclosures?
The public reaction has been divided. We've gotten a lot of emails and comments from readers who essentially say, you know, who made you God? Why do you get to make these decisions? Isn't this dangerous? We've had some supportive comments too, and the supportive ones have tended to grow as time has passed and people have read the actual articles. But it's interesting to compare with my colleague Alan Rusbridger, the editor-in-chief of The Guardian, which also has these documents and who deals with a sort of liberal English audience. And he's been online defending himself from readers who want to know, why did you censor this at all? What are you hiding from us? Why didn't you just put the whole trove of documents up unredacted? So where you stand depends on where you sit, I guess.
A report released Tuesday outlines the, quote, atrocious and abusive conditions at some Mexican institutions for the mentally and physically disabled. Mexico City Bureau Chief Randall Archibald reports.
I recently accompanied Disability Rights International, a Washington-based human rights group, on an investigation of conditions in Mexico's facilities for the mentally and physically disabled. At two institutions, we found deplorable conditions. At the Samuel Ramirez Hospital, men walked around half naked, there was excrement on the ground, patients walked around in a daze, partly due to their disability and partly from excessive medication. There did not appear to be much in the way of rehabilitation, and experts said it bore the hallmarks of warehousing rather than treatment. At another facility, Via Mujeres, administrators said they had no money for things like toilet paper and towels, and some of the women said they had been there or other institutions for most of their lives. One woman told us, "I don't have any hope." The remarkable thing for investigators was that they documented many of these conditions a decade ago. It appears to them little has changed, despite Mexico's promise to do better.
And a first look now at a story in Wednesday's Times. Video journalist Shayla Harris reports on a new push to turn toddlers into athletes before their second birthday.
Fitness coach Doreen Bolhes says it's never too early to get kids moving. In fact, the younger, the better.
Kick kids. Kick kids.
When we show babies how to move well, it is so exciting for them because they want to know how to manage their bodies. But people let babies lay there and then just hope they'll figure it out because they don't realize how much they're capable of learning.
Bolhes owns a gym in Grand Rapids, Michigan that caters to young children and families. She's part of a new wave of entrepreneurs with names like Baby Goes Pro and Athletic Baby who want to introduce babies and toddlers to sports.
We read to babies. We put them on our laps before they can understand language. We know it's important to introduce literacy at a very young age. Physical literacy is exactly the same process, but there is almost nothing for babies and toddlers.
But what can babies really do? With the help of their parents, babies are taken through a regimen of jumping, swinging, and balancing. Bullheis's line of videos use simple exercises to develop fine motor skills and hand-eye coordination.
It's important for your baby to be able to track things with his eyes.
Bullheis says even babies as young as 4-week-old Elena can benefit from these exercises.
Adults sell babies short because they can't talk yet. But when we teach from babyhood people to move well, they'll enjoy doing it and they'll continue doing it.
The parents in Bullheis's gym classes definitely agree.
When we first started Austin, he was 13 months old. He'd only been walking for about a month. We figure the sooner you start, the sooner they learn it and they hang on to it, so that once they get older, they have the foundation of those skills. Obviously, Austin's not going to be able to hit a ball as well as a 5-year-old, but he's trying, you know, whereas a lot of kids this age wouldn't even try a skill like that because they don't know where to start.
Join us again tomorrow for TimesCast.